Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. I was reflecting on how when I was a little girl, I remember adults outgrowing sweets. They would literally say, I don't eat candy anymore. Things are just too sweet for me. My taste buds changed when I got older. Forgive me for laughing, but really, in today's world of hyper intensely fortified sweets, it doesn't seem like people get to outgrow them anymore, at least not in my experience. I mean, I honestly remember that. And I remember thinking, oh, so when I grow up, I won't want sweets anymore? Like my mom and my older brothers and sisters? Okay. But I am ultra aware that they have absolutely made Frankenfood that is literally having people consume food while laying in an MRI machine so that they can just monitor the brain and see where the cocaine-like response and, the addictive responders go crazy. And then they literally meet in an scientific lab and decide how to make it even more enticing, even more toxic, even more addictive. I don't know. People are going to have to answer to God at some point. They really are. I'm a God person, in case you don't know, and they're going to have to answer to God. And it's not going to be enough for them to say, well, I worked for a company and they made... Sorry, no. You did not need to work for that company, and God still would have provided for you. Well, I didn't really know what I was doing because... Sorry. Even as a teacher, we're required to know all of the programs and all of the information, and I will be held accountable. Even if I only heard it once in a brief meeting, they'll say, well, we subjected you to that. You should have known it. And I'm really going to have to call on God. I am just going to be naive and say ignorance. Sorry, I didn't get any sleep because I'm a teacher. Does anybody remember the Twinkie defense? I think it was like 25 years ago, maybe 30, I don't know. But I think this guy actually killed his wife, and the defense was that he was high on Twinkies and that they had just made him out of his mind. At the time, everybody was saying how ridiculous it was. Today, I'm not so sure. I just had parent-teacher conferences, and the PTO, which is Parent-Teacher Organization, organization. I was going to say association. It's usually PTA, but this is PTO because PTA has dues, and I don't think PTO does. It's something like that. But anyway, sadly, they just put out a thing. First of all, they were having a fundraiser, which was ice cream. So they were totally serving all kinds of ice cream at back to school night. And that was kind of a bummer. I mean, but oh my gosh, please, I can't be trusted. I cannot be trusted. You want to know my truth? Hi, I'm JulesBlessedVegan, running on nothing, but looking hot doing it, right? I mean, seriously, people, I went to bed at what time? If you saw me yesterday, it was already after midnight, so I finally went to sleep around 1:30. It took me till 2 to fall asleep. I got up at 4:30, just like I said, and I got up at 4:30, and we went to move this 40-foot, it's called a fifth wheel, but it's like a RV type thing, right? And of course, it was freezing, if that's even possible. And I mean, how freezing is 38 degrees? It's not like totally freezing, but it was a moist wet. So it was totally freezing, pitch black. And of course, we couldn't get the fifth wheel hitch to work. So we're pounding with crowbars, and my husband's getting up and down on the thing and on the floor, and I'm trying to do my stuff, and his exhaust is going and my asthma's going crazy. I'm totally praying for grace. It took until like 8:15. So seriously, we started at like 5:05. It took almost 3 hours to get the thing going. Then we had to drive 75 miles, drop the trailer off, come home and shower as quickly as we could to go to a brunch at a country club for my husband's birthday. So that was crazy. And then after that, which was 75 miles away as well, but in a completely different direction, a whole different situation, we had to drive back. So we actually drove 300 miles today. Yeah, 300 miles. And I have a ton of work to do, which I will be doing. So forgive me if I'm tripping over my details, but they're still worth saying. So what I was going to say was we have the parent-teacher organization. And I was kind of distraught over the ice cream, but I was like, whatever, people do that. This was the part that bummed me out. They announced that they're having a fundraiser coming up. Okay, am I confused or is it almost Halloween? And I remember I did a video last year. Isn't it fun to think I've been doing videos the whole year? So this is my second Halloween doing Jules Blessed Vegan. But I did a video and it talked about something like literally 9 billion pieces of candy being purchased and distributed at this time of year. So let's talk about originality. The fundraiser they're doing is candy. I am not kidding you. It's candy. So they literally have this catalog full of not only candy, but common candies. I mean, I think it literally had things like M&Ms and Kit Kats and whatever. And, of course you get 4 ounces for $7. When, because it's Halloween right now, you can get a 50-pound bag for $9.99 or something, right? So I was kind of surprised that they went with that. I was thinking, even though because of my asthma, allergic, I would much prefer that they did something like candles, or even if they did some kind of little fun decorations or something, but more candy? Hello? Whose bright idea was that? So that was a bit of a shock. But what else brought up to me was I've had trouble all my life. I mean, I've shared before, when I was a little girl, I stole the $20 bill out of my mom's purse. I literally bought a trash, paper, but grocery bag filled with candy to the top. I literally chewed and swallowed so much bubble gum that I vomited a rainbow of color in the toilet. I mean, in the bathtub, like more gum than anyone could see. It was coming out in ropes. My family was flabbergasted. I mean, I have always had an insane addiction to this crazy chemical candy. And so I was remembering when I was 21, I was in Weight Watchers, and it's ironic because I was dating my husband at the time. And we were both in Weight Watchers. And in fact, it was his sister-in-law, who was the Weight Watchers spokesperson, who introduced us. And so I was so desperate because I had purchased so much Halloween candy. And which has often been the case, I never fret over throwing away sweets. I never fret out of pulling out of line in a fast food restaurant. I never fret over having the courage to throw out the other half of the gallon of ice cream. Because I know it's a win, as terrible as it is. And so at this time, I had purchased so many bags of what were probably 2 for $3 la-la-las that I waited outside that Weight Watchers facility for his sister-in-law to come out because I was feeling so desperate. And I had literally taken the Reese's peanut butter cups and I had written "help me" in Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm not kidding you, on the sidewalk. And she came out and she looked like, wait, what? And she looked down and she's all, "help me," with an exclamation point. That's how long I've been struggling. And let's not forget that I have had success, that I have literally lost 100 pounds, looked amazing, been phenomenal, gained 100 back, exceeded the 100. I not only owe my body an apology, I owe my body a celebration for being so kind as to reshape itself, to heal, to pull back with all the nonsense that I've put it through. I owe my body an apology and a thank you. And I need to ask it to just pull it together one more time so I can just be well for the rest of my life in this skin that is so miraculous. Okay, and I'm going to end it with this because, of course, like I said, I have a ton of homework. But I want to end it with this. I was talking today and I was saying, well, I was feeling really uncomfortable because I'm starting to lose weight. This game that I think where if I dare to lose weight or people start to pay attention to me, I panic and want to put it all back on. And my sister was like, "Are you kidding me, Juliana? It's about health. It's all about health." And, I was thinking, it's just so ironic because about 5 or 6 years ago when I was in the thick of my kidney disease at the time and contemplating dialysis and all this other stuff, or trying to get away from that, let's just say, I only thought about my health and I immediately dropped 90 pounds. Like that, because the focus wasn't on how I looked. The focus wasn't on what people thought of me. The focus was just on wellness. And so that I dared to say, well, people, she was like, what? People? You're trying to get well. You're trying to buy health. What do you care what people think? Oh, isn't God beautiful when he speaks through other people and just says, wake up and smell the burning toast? And the reason that toast is burning is because I don't eat it anymore. Anyway, praise God. Thank you, Father, every time you allow me to hear what you would tell me yourself through other people. It's not about others, it's about my health. And the rest is a side effect, a lovely side effect. So where are you, people? I'd love to know in the comments below. Where are you? Are you still eating kids' candy? Do you still want sugary drinks and ices and silly little food from your childhood? Not because you never outgrew it, which was so common back in the day, and you may remember that, but because of how much they've enhanced the toxicity to keep us addicted. It is all a crime, but guess what? Fruit and vegetables, I am good to go. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't by subscribing, and until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.